She shook the pill bottle in disbelief. It made no sound. Why didn't it? Oh, right, she was out. That's fine, no big deal, that's what refills are for, right? Her eyes slid from the bottle to her phone. She called for the refill, right? It wasn't that much of a fuck-up to forget when she'd been looking at it every morning she took it. Memory drifts back as she considers it, staring into the pill bottle as she poured one out for the day. Only 6 left. Better request a refill. Only 5 left. Only 3 left. Getting really low. Be bad if she ran out. Last one. Definitely have to make sure she calls today. Make sure to do it so she doesn't run out. After all, it feels awful when she's out. All of those previous instances of herself collapse into her, snapping back together in a blur of discontented, pointless recall until it's just her again, staring at the empty pill bottle in her hands. As she feels the itch crawling up her shoulders, feels a tingling ache start to prickle and spread from the metal implanted into her flesh. She squeezes her eyes shut, hiding the way her hands shake now from herself. Breathing deeply is supposed to center you, calm your nervous system, blunt anxiety and panic responses. All it does for her is leave her focused on the sensory noise invading her thoughts as her own failures come due. When her eyes open again, she's on the floor of the bathroom, hugging her knees to her chest, back pressed to the wall. But her breathing is even, so she must be fine. The itching, tickling ache has set in fully by the time her eyes open again. How long had she sat there? An hour? More? Her thoughts are a haphazard mess of discomfort and anger and fear and self-loathing as she has to force her hands not to rise and itch at the scarred flesh healed around the neural jacks set into her shoulders, neck and spine. She's lucky that she didn't itch while she was out of it, truth. Usually, she'd be bloody and raw already. Or seeking a fix. She'd get a fix. Something to blunt the hateful feeling of the implants. Then she could see about getting her meds as soon as she could after. A day or two without. Maybe she could beg the pharmacy to fill it sooner, maybe. Maybe. She freezes once she's climbed to her feet, catching sight of her reflection in the mirror. She's pale, eyes hollow, face expressionless. There's red scrapes where nails have already started to dig into skin. Maybe not so lucky after all. They told her that they wouldn't remove them, that her body had adapted to the implants, that her nervous system was enmeshed with the delicate tracery of wires that terminated in the ports. The best they could do was give her suppressants and sternly remind her using her implants for any length of time could cause permanent damage. Bitterly, she smiles. The expression looked haunted and angry and feral in the mirror, and she turned away, stalking out of the bathroom and into her dingy apartment. Permanent damage. What did they call this feeling? The urge and the pain and the itch and the ache and the need that they'd left her. Unfortunate, unexpected side effects from the prolonged use of experimental neural ports, but definitely not damage. Thoughts fixed on that. She began to methodically rifle through her apartment, upending boxes, dragging drawers out and looking under furniture. She knows she bought one, stashed it for just in case. But when it got bad and she needed to take the edge off, there's no way she threw it away. Hid it? Pretended it didn't exist, sure. But she wouldn't have thrown it away. She wasn't strong enough. It was, of course, the last place she looked. An unmarked cart cardboard box. She'd torn the rest of her house apart in an increasing panic. She'd hidden it under her bed. But as soon as she picked it up and felt the weight of metal and plastic and security inside, some of the tension in her shoulders bled away. She had it. She hadn't thrown it away. Heedless of the ruin of her home, she sinks down onto the unmade bed, sitting the box in her lap with almost reverential care. The tingling and aching and noise and need haven't gone, but relief is right here. For once she has an excuse. No one would blame her. They say the symptoms of implant enmeshment are some of the worst to live with. That ex-pilots and other cybernetic jockeys have 5 times the normal suicide rate because of it. She doesn't know about that. Suicide isn't something she thinks about. She just wants it to go away. The meds help, but they aren't the only thing that helps. She opens the box. The device inside is unassuming. It's also deeply illegal. A dummy neural link. 4 gleaming connectors jut from the concave surface of its interior, perfectly aligned to slot into the 4 ports on her neck, spine, and shoulders. A real neural link is closely guarded. Military-grade technology that no civilian, veteran or not, would ever have access to. The power to control the enormous walking war machines and equipment with your mind? Far, far too dangerous for civilians. That's the sort of thing that gets you disappeared. But a dummy version that provides the user with neurological feedback mimicking that connection. Illegal still, but far less dangerous and difficult to buy or own. And far, far easier to hide. She licks her lips, noticing for the first time they're dry and cracked. She notices she's covered in sweat, too. From her manic search, her hair is a mess and her clothes are sticking to her. She found it. Her hands tremble as she lets her fingertips brush the cool metal of the device. At your stage of eneshment, any further use will cause permanent degradation. I must stress, Miss Segura, that there is no level of use that is safe for you at this point. Despite how it may feel, should you choose to ignore my advice, please. If you need help dealing with the symptoms, please contact us. 2 months later, and when she calls in a panic, they put her on hold for an hour and then disconnect her call. Twice. In a row. She buys a dummy link that night, a friend of a friend, to put her in touch with someone. Permanent degradation. The words terrify her. The idea of becoming useless, unable to support her friends, take care of her loved ones, terrifies her. But she can't. She can't. She can't. Her neck burns. She looks at her fingertips. The nails on her right hand are bloody. How long can she struggle with it? Control herself. Sleeping without her meds is all but impossible, and even if she does, she'll scratch herself bloodier than she already has as she sleeps. No, this is the price she pays for her failure. She'll take the edge off, then call for her medicine. She can use it sparingly just to take care of the worst of it until she gets her meds. Then she'll turn it in and make the doctor's promise to have her meds available when she needs them. Well, they do, but she couldn't keep herself together enough to order them because she's stupid and useless, and cool metal kisses aching raw flesh. She shudders. The ports set in her flesh buzz pleasantly as the jacks line up. And with a shiver and a moan of delight and relief, she slots the dummy link onto her neck and shoulders and presses the button in the center of its face. Sensation and pleasure and relief surge through her like water breaking through a levee. The itching ache vanishes, quenched in the onslaught of false inputs and response that the microcomputer now plugged into her nervous system provides her, and her tense body goes limp as a deep sigh escapes her. Ah, finally. Finally, it's quiet. Finally, she's whole. She'll just rest for a while. She deserves the quiet, the rest, the peace. After all, she's been strong, done enough. As the gentle buzz of the link fills her, drowning anxiety and panic and pain and itching, she smiles. Her eyes close.